Hello there everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Unlimited video. Sorry for the lack of uploads recently. If you can probably tell, I've been quite sick, but I'm feeling a lot better now. Still not 100%, but good enough to get some videos out for you. And we are coming up to the first, we had a couple of 1Ks in America, or 2Ks, over the weekend, which I think were like 60 to 70 players, so pretty big. But we are coming up to this weekend, the usual OPE organised massive premiere events that we have in the UK, previously around 200 players, so hopefully we're going to get about that this weekend. No idea what the attendance is looking like it's going to be, but hopefully around 200. And as we sort of approach that, I wanted to make a tier list, and this is following the Boba suspension, which I've already made a video about, which I think was honestly, the more and more I play set 3 without Boba, I think whilst it may not have been necessary, I think it's done a lot for allowing players to feel motivated to be more creative, without the sort of, the boogeyman just sort of there being like, okay, but can you beat this? And it's sort of a lot easier to ask the question, can you beat this with Sabine? Because that's sort of been the standard thing that we've been having to deal with for quite some time. But anyway, apologies if I am lower energy or sound weird. It is what it is. But let's go ahead and jump into the tier list. So, and what I'm going to do is I'll sort of do this live so you can see my thought here. But I don't like to go S to D. I think a better way is to categorize this as like meta defining. Because I think like just because a deck is sort of meta defining doesn't mean it's unbeatable necessarily, and we definitely don't have a tier 0. That's a separate discussion. So there's meta defining. Definitely really good, or definitely great, we'll say. Probably good, and then I'll say there's like potential, and then D tier I think is going to be worse versions of above, because I think by and large that's kind of what decks basically end up being. I think like the way I've sort of seen decks play out in Star Wars is we have these kind of like each sort of color combo has a kind of shell, right? Where it's like, this is like, for example, if you're playing like a blue black green deck, you know what that's going to look like, right? Of the 60 cards, you know about 40 of them are going to be pretty much fixed. And then the remaining 10 to 20 are going to depend on the meta and the leader. And that's basically true for every single deck in the game. And whilst I definitely think that as the game goes on, we are going to see leaders be able to sort of break the mold of the sort of standard more and more. I don't think we're really there yet. I think at the moment we're very much in the sort of, there is a core package of cards that are going to make this deck good, and then there's going to be a leader, and there's going to be interactions with that leader that are going to be worth playing, that are going to be good outside of that. And so that's why I think by and large, if your deck is bad, it's just kind of worse than, like, you're kind of doing a similar thing to what you could be doing in another shell, and that other shell is just like way better, right? So I think the classic example of this is like, why would I play like any aggro deck that is red, green, and white when I could play Sabine? And I think that question remains in this set. There isn't really a compelling reason. Now, there is a compelling reason if you're going to go yellow. I do think there is a more compelling reason there. But anyway, let's stop yapping. I think I've sort of explained this here. Let's just get into tiering. And so I'm just kind of going by the order in which these are presented to me. So Dr. Aphra, I think, is squarely in the potential tier. I don't think this is like, and I guess like the important thing for me to say here is like, basically, as long as the deck isn't in the bottom tier, I think it's good. I think it's what I'm really going here is like, meta defining is, we know this is good. Every deck in the game has to kind of be built with this deck or decks in mind, because you know they are going to be there. And if you can't beat that deck, you better have a really, really, really good game plan into everything else, or you better not care about going higher than locals. Definitely great is like not quite meta defining, and that might be due to longevity, that might be due to having a particular weakness, that might be due to a variety of factors, but it's certainly very, very strong, and it's going to be a significant proportion of the meta. Probably good is like, okay, well, generally with newer leaders, this is probably good, but we don't necessarily know. So probably good and potential is me hedging on the. I think this is probably going to be on the better end versus okay. I think there's something here, but like I'm more cautious about it, and I think someone needs to break it. And so that's where I think Afra is. I know Afra is like has potential, but these sort of hard control yellow blue decks, I just don't think have the support yet. And I don't think the meta in which this kind of deck does well is quite a niche one. I think, and there's way too much aggro right now for that to be true. Bo-Katan, I think we can just put in the worst version of the above. There's no Mandalorian support. Boba is in probably good. I think there's one version of this leader that's very, very good, and that's the blue-green version. I think my question is just like, is this still the best way to be playing blue-green hero? I think like we got two insanely good new blue hero leaders this set that I think I'm basically questioning very frequently, like why would I want to be playing this in Boba, in particular with things like Force synergies running around. So I think that's why I've got to put it in probably good. Obviously Boba, I guess we leave off the tier list. Bosk I think is indefinitely great. We know this leader's good. Boss Blue is basically the de facto hard control list, and it's good. Cad Bane, I'm gonna also put in definitely great. I think with Boba being gone, this leader basically is able to flourish, find a niche. I think Cad Blue and Cad Red are both insanely strong decks that I've been playing a good amount, and I think are very, very, very good. Cassian can join worse versions of the above. Chewbacca as well. Chirrut, I really want to put Chirrut in potential or probably good tier. It's just, I think like it's so hard to justify playing this leader. Like, there's so many ways to just like kind of invalidate this guy from like doing his whole game plan, right? Like, and this is sort of the problem with building, like having a leader where like you kind of literally are building around like making him do his own thing. I'll put him in potential because he's performed well enough in the past, but like yeah, I think like there's some fundamental issues with like building around your leader doing all the heavy lifting in a game where cards like Rivals Fall exist, and especially when blue heroes or blue in general is going to be really quite meta relevant, I think. Fennec, worst version of the above. Finn, worst version of the above. Gar Saxon, I think I can put Gar in potential. I think Gar got a lot better with Boba being gone. I think one of the things I really like about Gar is the amount of shields you get around. So we'll sort of come on to this when we talk about Django. But there's basically the space deck running around, this Django Red space deck, and having loads of shields is very, very good into that. And the way you want to build CAD is just like abusing shields, and you get a lot of sentinels, and just be really, really annoying to interact with. And so I think Gar probably does have potential into this new format. I'm gonna put GI in probably good. I think we knew this deck had potential. It was just like decks like Boba just completely invalidated it. But firstly, Red just got like a huge buff this set with like cards like Maul. And like I mean just across the board, like I think every color combo you want to build GI just got better in this set. So I think there's a lot of potential here, and I'm willing to say like this is probably good. We can definitely put Harden definitely great. We know this leader is very, very powerful. Hera, Blair, Hondo. Hondo's probably good. My inclination is kind of to put Hondo in worse versions of the above because it is just that exact same like green blue villain shell. But I think it is different enough in the way it plays to a lot of those other decks. I'll put it in probably good. Put 100 worst versions of the above. Distressingly getting basically nothing relevant. Probably going to be a while before we can seriously look at this guy as a meta contender. Worst version of the above. Worst version of the above. Worst version of the above. I mean, like it's okay. I don't think it's fair for me not to put these in worst versions of the above because I just think like all these blue-green villain decks are kind of the same, and I think at least Hondo does something unique with the smuggling. But like I think these decks are just very much like flavors of the same thing. So look, I'm just going to put Kira up there and definitely great, and let's grab Iden. Where is Iden? Where is Iden? Okay, well whenever I manage to find Iden, I'll put Iden back in down in worst versions of the above because I think that's basically what she is. I guess Iden might not be on this list. Okay, well Iden's in. Unless I've already put her here. Oh yeah, I did. Showcase right there. Yeah, worst version of the above. Anyway, right. Kylo. I think I'm going to put Kylo in. I'm going to put it in potential because I think it would be biased for me to put it in probably could just because I really like the character. I think Kylo Yellow definitely stonks increased, but like just like, why wouldn't I just play Django? And like Kylo ECL, I'm enjoying it, but I don't think it's like super good. I think it's just fun. Yeah, I think potential. I definitely think like this is a leader I'm going to keep looking to with every set. Like when we get more discards, energies, and things, I'm going to be very interested in it. Lando, it's not really worse versions of the above, but yeah, it's not good. Leia, worse version of the above. Luke, I think I can put in probably good. I think this is like a blue green deploy on a blue white deploy on 6 best with green kind of deck, and like yes, that's not actually that unique, but the shields I think are unique enough that the way you build this deck definitely is different. Yeah, I'm comfortable putting it potential and probably top potential because it has seen some success. Moff was yeah, probably was supposed to be above. Han, okay, yep, definitely great. We know this leader's amazing. Palp, probably good at the moment, quite terrible, I think, just because aggro meta. But yeah, as the meta slowly moves away from aggro, this leader's going to get a lot better. Ray, I think we can comfortably put Ray in definitely great. I think this deck has seen more than enough success to kind of justify. I mean, obviously, it's basically just that the Ray red shell, but like, yeah, I think we can do that. That's nice. Okay, Sabine, meta defining, as we all know. Yep. I really want to put Grand Moff in like somewhere up here, but like, there's just no reason to play this over like Django Red, right? If you're doing a space deck, like you play Django. Mandalorian, same issue. Thrawn, same issue. Vader, I'm going to put in potential, but like bottom of potential, because yeah, it's just like not really doing much at the moment, and I don't really see this format being particularly conducive to Vader doing well. Okay, now we can finally talk about our set 3 leaders. And we're going to start off with a hot take. I'm going to put Palp in probably good. I've been playing this deck quite a lot. I've been playing a lot of Palp Blue. And I think like this deck has potential. This deck has serious potential. It's really annoying and tricky and hard to play. And I'm definitely not playing it very, very well. But I think like I've been just, in the KTOD Discord, there's like a whole selection of players who've been grinding away at this deck, and actually there's a lot of players seeing a lot of success, and I think that it's getting close. I think I wouldn't be shocked in PQ season to see this deck like topping a good chunk. I definitely don't want to say it's definitely great, but I'm very much hedging on the it's good side of things. Nala, I'm happy to say I was probably wrong about this. There's not really been seeing much hype for it. I've tried it out a couple times. It seems fine. I'm going to put it in potential just because I do think fundamentally playing that control shell with Wrecker is very good. But yeah. Okay. I'm going to put Yoda in probably good. I'm comfortable doing that. I think this leader is very, very strong. I think every color combo you want to play with him is probably quite valuable. It's probably quite viable, rather, I should say. The biggest issue is like it's just got sometimes, like for example, Han double yellow. Like sometimes, depending on the color combo, you just can't beat Tech DJ, and that sucks, obviously. Right. So yeah. What Tambor? I'm also going to put in potential. I'm putting in potential for now. I think like my hesitancy is just on the sort of how action intensive it is. But I definitely think there's some like serious potential to what you can do with this deck, and I think we will need to see some green-black decks like rising up to sort of counter a lot of what's happening in the top end of the meta. Like we just need some barrage decks like checking what's going on at the top of the format. Okay, Quinlan. I was so high on this leader, but like I think I just got to put it in probably good. It's not been performing like how I expected. I think like fundamentally you absolutely smack Sabine around. Like, but I just I think CAD is a bad matchup, and I don't really see how you have a great time into the depending on the color combo you're going for into the sort of space decks. Now, if you're Quinlan red, I think that's sort of there's more potential there. We get stuff like Force Throw and Tarkin Town, and so I think that's definitely like up there. But yeah, so I'll put it in probably good. I don't feel comfortable jamming it into definitely. But yeah, also I feel like I should put Han up here. Okay, Prey Vizsla, I'm going to put in potential. I think it's this same sort of like hard control shell as like Bosk and Vader, and I definitely think there's potential, but it needs to be explored more. Padme, I'm happy putting down here. Okay, Obi-Wan, I'm definitely going to put in probably good. I think this leader is very underrated. I think it's really, really solid. 4/7 Sentinel ability that kind of hard counters a lot of the chip damage that's going around at the moment. And I've been playing him with red and with green, and I've been really enjoying it. So I don't know. This is maybe biased because also I love the character, but fuck you, I get one bias thing. Okay. Also going to put Newt in potential tier. I definitely think like this is a control deck with potential. Obviously, like it's one of those situations where it's like you need to be generating as many tokens as possible to really start getting value. And if you're not getting value out of him, then he's pretty bad. But I definitely think it's like a value engine. There's like something there. He's also a great thing to just like slap a couple upgrades onto, like a devotion or something, or like an entrenched, and he just becomes a beat stick that can control the board really well. So yeah, I don't know. I think he's all right. Maul, worst version of the above for sure. It's just mid aggro deck. Mace, I'll put him in worst version of the above because I just can't justify putting him anywhere else. Like, I just don't know what deck you're playing where you want to play Mace at the moment over like something else. Okay, Django, we can put in definitely great. I think that is the one set 3 leader we can definitely put up there. I think so. Just as sort of an aside, I played a lot of Boba Red near the end of set 2 format, and I sort of like the moment I saw Django, I was like, okay, so like if I was going to play Django over Boba with any color, it would be red because one, Boba Red basically outside of the first or second turn did not really care about the Boba untap, and also Django's tap down seemed to be quite interesting in terms of like being better into aggro matchups, where you could like win the race by constantly tapping down your opponent's stuff, and that seemed really interesting to me. But I didn't like make a big deal out of it because like fundamentally like was that going to be better than just playing Boba? Probably not. With Boba gone, immediately I was like, okay, fine. So Django Red is going to be top tier because Boba Red was top tier, and like, yeah, obviously. And I think there's still potential there in green as well. I don't think Dull Yellow Django and Django Blue have anything worth talking about. But I definitely think that Django Green may go somewhere as well. But with the guaranteed success we've seen from Django Red, I think I'm comfortable putting it in definitely great. Grievous, I'm going to put probably good. I think Grievous has potential. It's a 4/8. He's big. He can give stuff sensible. Yeah, I'm just interested in Grievous, to be sure. Dooku, I'm also going to put in probably good. I'm just high on this leader. You know, like insane stats, cheating out like things. Like it just seems very, very powerful in theory. And yeah, I like it. Rex, I'm going to put in worst version of the above. This hurts. I gotta eat my words on this one. I was so high on Asajj, and so far she's just not been performing like I thought she would. I'm gonna put her in potential, but yeah, I'm gonna eat my words on this one. I think I was wrong to place her so highly in my initial my initial ratings. Okay, last two. Another one I'm gonna have to eat crow on a bit. I think I've got to put Ahsoka up in probably good. And I think this is just a yellow deck. I think Ahsoka yellow is really solid and maybe better than Sabine. Maybe. I think like because like fundamentally I don't know if Sabine ECL is like going to remain the best version of Sabine, but I've tried out Sabine Yellow in this set, and I've tried out Ahsoka Yellow, and I don't know, Ahsoka Yellow felt really good. Like just getting a 5/6 is like so big. You're able to go quite wide. And again, like I think this is the issue where right now there aren't really any of these barrage decks that are controlling board, and in those situations, like actually going wider is better. I also think like being on 30 HP is more valuable into like decks like, for example, Django Space, where actually they're gonna like be able to kill you quite easily on 25. And I feel like Ahsoka is quite well placed into that, but I don't know. Maybe I'm gassing her up too much, but I'm going to put her in probably good. I'm willing to do that. And Anakin, I'm also going to put in definitely great. I think I'm comfortable enough with the amount of tops this saw over the weekend, with my experience with playing this Anakin Yellow. I've played a good amount of Anakin Yellow. I haven't played Anakin Blue, but I mean, we know that shell is good, right? Thanks to Rey. Like, we are aware of this. So the only ones that like kind of remain to be seen are like, is Anakin Green any good? And is Double Red Anakin any good? But like, I think really 2 shells being like very meta viable, I think is enough for me to put this leader in definitely great. And yeah, so that's it. That's my tier list. Maybe if I move myself up here so you can take screenshots and laugh at me. But there we go. So this is how I see the format. Going into the sort of Birmingham event coming up this weekend, anything indefinitely great and above I'd expect to see perform. So I would expect to see Sabine, obviously. I'd expect to see Han Double Yellow. I'd expect to see Han 2 Blue. I'd expect to see some Cad Red or some Cad Blue. I'd expect to see some Anakin Yellow or Anakin Blue. I'd expect to see Django Red, maybe some Django Green. I'd expect to see Rey Red. I'd expect to see Bosk Blue, and I'd expect to see some Kira Green. I'd expect to see all of those. Probably good. I would also expect to see a couple breakthrough and maybe in top 8, but definitely like in the sort of top 32 kind of band. And I think basically anything in there could realistically see some success. I think it'll just sort of depend on the matchups they get. I wouldn't really expect to see anything below that, but stuff could break through. But there we go. That's it. I hope you guys found this video useful. If you did, please like, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, sorry I've been away for a bit, but I've got a lot of consistent uploads, a lot of deck profiles recorded for you, so I hope you're looking forward to that. And I've also got an interesting video about the state of One Piece coming up soon. Yeah, anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Cheers.